Daniel Tkaczuk skates with the Flames during a preseason game in 1998. Elsa Haschallsport. Daniel Tkaczuk and Matthew Tkachuk share similar names, junior stats, and were selected 6th overall by the Calgary Flames 19 years apart. One is progressing well as one of the NHL's most well-rounded youngsters, the other played just 19 NHL games in a career that veered away from what he dreamed it would be. The two will be on opposite sides of the battle Wednesday at the Scotiabank Saddledome, when Matthew faces off against St. Louis. Daniel will be watching from above as a first-year assistant coach with the Blues. It's not uncommon for the latter to be asked if he's related to the former, who came into the league with all the same hype and hope Daniel did 17 years ago. No relation to Matthew Tkachuk, but his dad Keith is involved in the St. Louis organization, chuckled Tkachuk. Hockey is a funny world that way. When asked where things started to go sideways for the Toronto native, Tkachuk starts with the Saddledome in which he's sitting. I was actually in a game here against Phoenix and I hit my face on the ice, said Tkachuk, who captained the OHL's Barrie Colts and was the leading scorer of Canada's silver medal-winning team at the 1999 World Juniors. I was tangled with a guy in the neutral zone and I wasn't wearing a visor and bounced my face off the ice, got stitched up and came back. We flew to LA after the game, and when I woke up I had the TV screen thing going fuzzy vision, so just never was able to fight my way back. To that point, the AHL call-up had a respectable 4 goals and 11 points in 19 NHL outings while playing between Dave Lowry and Valeri Bure on Don Hayes' second line during the 2001 season. I'd like to think after having a strong year in the minors, making the AHL or rookie team and a strong start, I got the call-up and was contributing, said Tkachuk, who had 105 points in 58 games his final junior campaign, compared to Tkachuk's 107 points in 57 outings. The numbers were okay and the team was holding its own, but then missing a month and a half hurt me developmentally. I lost a step and had other injuries, like a second concussion in the minors. I was a quick thinker, and with those injuries I couldn't really get back to that level. Tkachuk returned to lead the St. John Flames to a Calder Cup ring that year before being traded by GM Craig Button to St. Louis with Freddie Braithwaite in a draft weekend deal for Roman Turek. Daniel Tkachuk left during the Dell Bundesliga playoffs on March 25, 2007. Getty Images. What followed was a 10-year odyssey through the AHL, ECHL and all over Europe, where he retired with the Nottingham Panthers in 2010. Tkachuk, 38, never played another NHL game. I do wish I had a longer NHL career, but I look at some of the opportunities I was given. I traveled the world and met some great people and experienced the game. Tkachuk, a father of 2 young boys, said, there were players far greater than me who never got to play in the NHL. There's definitely stuff I would have changed, but sometimes circumstances are such you can't change anything. I look back, and I tried hard. I tried to do what was asked of me by the organization and coaches. Didn't work out, but it wasn't for a lack of trying. Tkachuk tells a tale about an early exchange that might have explained the club's mindset. When I first got drafted here, Brian Sutter was the coach. And he said, well, you don't smile very much, said Tkachuk, a very cerebral, intense type. I said, no, I am having a great time. That's just not my personality, that's not my way. I'm a little more reserved. I'd rather go about my business and do what I can to help the team. That was the one bit of feedback I got. So, do you want me to change my personality? You'd have to ask management if it was a personality thing, but you can't change who you are. Daniel Tkachuk during the 1999 World Juniors in Brandon, Man. Getty Images. The Blues thought enough of his approach to hire him in a player development role with an eye on helping talented young players. I knew I wanted to get into coaching and help young players with some of the stuff I wish I got help with when I was younger, he said. I try to use my experience to help some of these younger guys who are told how to develop into an NHL gamer, those who are up for a cup of coffee, how to sustain it. Tkachuk vividly recalls his NHL sip, which started with a game at the Dome against Hall of Fame Mighty Ducks Teemu Selänne and Paul Carrier. My first goal was in my hometown against the Leafs on Hockey Night in Canada, and I had just been called up. Tkachuk, a two-way center, said, I arrived so late my dad picked me up and I slept at home and my dad drove me in for pre-game skate. That was kind of neat. We won 54 in overtime when Val Bure scored. Hey, it is a hard business. When you're a kid dreaming, you don't say, I'm going to battle through injuries and various circumstances. I don't look back with regret. How many guys get to play in the NHL, play for their country and still be involved with it as a coach? I had a pretty good ride, Francis at postmedia.com.